They were born in an era when reliability mattered more than comfort, electronics, or refinement. Military trucks from the 1950s were built to cross mud, haul weight, survive wars, and keep running long after a modern vehicle would have already called for help. But how can machines built more than 70 years ago still be working on farms, in forests, at mines, and across remote regions? The answer lies in simple engines, rugged frames, and engineering designed to be repaired far from any professional shop. On this journey, we are going to look at 10 military vehicles that traded battlefields for hard labor, and in many parts of the world, still take on jobs that challenge trucks built decades later. Get ready to hear old-school engines, watch suspensions pushed to their limits, and discover machines that seem to have no concept of retirement. Because the #1 truck became one of the most versatile and long-lasting military workhorses ever built. Land Rover Series I Military. Small in size, but enormous in usefulness, the Land Rover Series I arrived in 1948, built in England by the Rover Company. Throughout the 1950s, it became a common sight in military units, rural operations, and support missions, especially in places where larger vehicles struggled to get through. Early versions used a 1.6-liter, 1,595 cubic centimeter inline four-cylinder engine, producing around 50 horsepower. Later models received a 2.0-liter, 1,997 cubic centimeter engine, with roughly 52 horsepower and between 80 and 101 pound-feet of torque. It came with a 4-speed manual transmission and a low-range transfer case for difficult terrain. Four-wheel drive, solid axles, and leaf spring suspension allowed it to cross mud, rocky trails, narrow paths, and steep climbs with an efficiency that many modern vehicles still struggle to match. Depending on the version, its wheelbase ranged from 80 to 109 inches. It weighed a little over 1 ton and could reach around 47 to 53 miles per hour. Acceleration was never the priority, and several versions could not even reach 62 miles per hour. Inside, everything was simple and direct. The steering was heavy, the shifter required a firm hand, and the cabin offered only the essentials. The engine noise, transmission whine, and rattling body made every trip feel like a real field operation. The Land Rover Series I proved that a compact vehicle could work like a giant, but the next truck left lightweight agility behind and brought far more muscle, weight, and military toughness. Dodge M37 Power Wagon. More rugged and unmistakably military, the Dodge M37 entered production in 1951 in the United States. Built to replace trucks used during World War II, it was designed as a light-duty cargo and troop carrier, with simple construction and enough durability to operate far from any paved road. Under the hood was a 230 cubic inch, 3.8-liter, 3,772 cubic centimeter inline 6-cylinder engine. It produced around 78 horsepower and roughly 181 pound-feet of torque, enough to move cargo, soldiers, and equipment across rough terrain. The transmission was a 4-speed manual with short gearing and a low-range transfer case. Four-wheel drive, solid axles, and leaf spring suspension helped the M37 push through mud, snow, rocks, and damaged roads, without electronic systems or sophisticated controls. Weighing close to 5,700 pounds empty, it could carry roughly 1,650 pounds off-road and more than 1 ton on firm ground. Top speed was close to 55 miles per hour, and 0 to 60 performance was irrelevant because the truck was never built around speed. The cabin was narrow, the steering demanded real effort, and the deep sound of the inline 6 mixed with transmission noise. In military service, it worked as a cargo truck, ambulance, and communications vehicle. Many examples moved on to farms, rescue teams, private collections, and extreme off-road use. The M37 was so rugged that many examples still operate today, with basic maintenance and adapted parts. It never impressed anyone with speed, but it earned respect by continuing to move when almost everything else had already stopped. And if this Dodge already seemed ready for any mission, the next truck raised the stakes with 3 axles, full-time toughness, and a shape that was impossible to ignore. DAF YA328. with 3 axles and a body that looked ready to attack any landscape. The DAF YA328 entered production in 1952 in the Netherlands. Built by DAF for the Dutch Armed Forces, it was designed to move troops, cargo, and equipment through regions where roads barely existed. Its engine was a gasoline-powered Hercules inline-six, with roughly 5.5 liters of displacement and around 102 horsepower. Strong, low-end pull helped the truck climb out of mud, handle hills, and keep moving, even with a full load. The truck used a 5-speed manual transmission, connected to a drivetrain that distributed power across all 3 axles. Its 6x6 system, large tires, and heavy-duty suspension allowed it to cross mud, sand, and badly damaged trails. At nearly 13,000 pounds empty, it could carry about 6,600 pounds of cargo. Top speed was around 50 miles per hour, while acceleration was slow and steady, exactly what you would expect from a military truck of this size. Inside the cabin, comfort was limited, and exposed metal was everywhere. The roar of the inline-six filled the interior, while the tall body and triple-axle stance gave the YA328 a commanding presence. It carried soldiers, ammunition, tools, and maintenance equipment. Many examples survived in private collections and heavy-duty service, helped by simple mechanical systems, and a design built to last for decades. If this list is already showing you why these veterans still deserve respect, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next machines. Now, we move to a truck that turned versatility into a legend. Unimog 404. The Unimog 404 entered production in 1955, built by Mercedes-Benz in Germany, and quickly became one of the most versatile military vehicles of its generation. It served as a troop carrier, ambulance, radio truck, and support vehicle in terrain where ordinary trucks simply could not operate. Its gasoline engine was a 2.2-liter, 2,195 cubic centimeter inline-six, depending on the version. It produced around 80 horsepower and roughly 116 pound-feet of torque, with power delivery suited to low speeds and continuous work. The truck used a 6-speed manual transmission, a transfer case, and 4-wheel drive. Short gearing helped it climb hills, cross mud, crawl over rocks, and move through narrow trails without relying on speed. Coil spring suspension gave it excellent wheel articulation, helping the tires stay planted on severely uneven ground. At around 6,400 pounds, it could carry approximately 3,300 pounds and reach close to 59 miles per hour. The cabin was basic, the noise was constant, and every movement in the terrain could be felt through the steering wheel. Even so, good visibility and direct mechanical control made the Unimog a precise tool for forests, rural work, rescue operations, and expeditions. Many examples are still active because they can accept winches, special bodies, emergency equipment, and heavy-duty conversions. The Unimog 404 became famous not only for crossing difficult terrain, but for remaining useful decades after military retirement, proving that a simple and well-built design can outlast far more modern technology. The next truck takes that same toughness and gives it a distinctly Soviet personality. GAZ-63. The GAZ-63 entered production in 1948 in the Soviet Union and remained one of the country's most important light military trucks throughout the 1950s. It was built to carry troops, ammunition, tools, and supplies through frozen regions, rural areas, and roads in extreme condition. Its gasoline engine was a 3.5-liter, 3,485 cubic centimeter inline-six. It produced around 70 horsepower and approximately 145 pound-feet of torque, with most of its useful pull available at low engine speeds. A 4-speed manual transmission worked with a transfer case in low range. 4-wheel drive, solid axles, and leaf spring suspension created a simple, durable package that could be repaired far from a fully equipped shop. Weighing a little over 6,600 pounds, it could carry around 4,400 pounds on roads and roughly 3,300 pounds off-road. Top speed was close to 40 miles per hour, and 0 to 60 performance was not even part of the discussion, because the priority was progress, not speed. Beyond troop transport, the The GAZ-63 appeared as an ambulance, mobile workshop, communications vehicle, and field support platform. Many were later reused on farms, in forests, and at remote construction sites, where ruggedness and easy maintenance mattered more than comfort. The GAZ-63 was slow, noisy, and tiring to drive, but that simplicity is exactly what kept it alive for so many decades. In places where a modern truck depends on sensors, specialized parts, and professional diagnostics, this old Soviet machine could often be repaired with basic tools and returned to work the same day. From this point forward, the list moves into a heavier class. The next truck was not built only to cross difficult terrain. It was designed to carry far more weight, work through long shifts, and survive operations where mechanical strength and payload capacity mattered more than comfort. Berliet GBC 8KT. Produced by Berliet in France beginning in the late 1950s, the GBC 8KT was built to transport troops, fuel, ammunition, and equipment through extreme heat and regions with almost no roads. Known in military service as the Gazelle, it became especially prominent in operations across North Africa. Its engine was a 7.9-liter, 7,900 cubic centimeter inline 5-cylinder diesel, producing around 125 horsepower. It delivered strong low-end pulling power, allowing the truck to move heavy loads across long distances without constantly working at high engine speeds. The truck used a 5-speed manual transmission, a transfer case, and low range. Its 6x6 drivetrain, 3 solid axles, and leaf spring suspension created a rugged package for sand, mud, rocks, and steep grades under load. Weighing more than 17,600 pounds empty, it could carry several tons and reach around 47 miles per hour. Acceleration was slow, but the goal was different. It was meant to maintain progress in terrain that stopped smaller and faster vehicles. The tall cabin, long hood, and large tires gave the Berliet an imposing presence. Its deep diesel sound and elevated driving position made it feel less like an ordinary truck and more like a tool built for punishing, long-distance work. In addition to military transport, it appeared as a fuel tanker, mobile workshop, and recovery vehicle. Many examples continued working on farms, in industrial operations, and across remote regions because of their rugged construction and ability to accept different bodies. The next truck proves that a machine did not need to be French, enormous, or sophisticated to earn a place in history. With simple, check engineering and a structure designed to survive daily abuse, it became a familiar sight in armies, construction fleets, and rural work for decades. Praga V3S. Introduced in 1953 by Praga in what was then Czechoslovakia, the V3S was built as a military cargo truck for difficult terrain. It quickly earned a reputation for working through mud, snow, forests, construction sites, and destroyed roads without demanding complicated maintenance. Its engine was an air-cooled Tatra inline 6-cylinder diesel with 7.4 liters, or around 7,412 cubic centimeters, delivering the power needed, producing approximately 98 horsepower and about 260 pound-feet of torque. Most of its strength came in at low engine speeds, making it well-suited to heavy loads. The truck used a 4-speed manual transmission combined with a 2-speed auxiliary gearbox. In practice, this gave the driver short ratios for hills and mud, along with taller gearing for road travel. Its 6x6 drivetrain, 3 solid axles, and leaf spring suspension gave the V3S serious off-road ability. High ground clearance helped it pass over rocks, deep ruts, and trenches without damaging the underside. At a little over 11,000 pounds empty, it could carry around 6,600 pounds across difficult ground, and up to 11,000 pounds on roads. Top speed was close to 37 miles per hour, making it clear that strength and durability mattered far more than speed. The cabin was cramped, noisy, and uncomfortable, with the dry roar of the air-cooled engine dominating the experience. The driver felt every vibration through the frame, while the tall body and narrow tires reinforced its military workhorse appearance. But the next truck takes engineering to another level. With a chassis layout unlike conventional trucks, independent suspension, and an engine designed for heavy loads, it became one of the most respected machines in Eastern Europe. Tatra 138. Introduced in 1959 by Tatra in Czechoslovakia, the Tatra 138 was built for heavy transport, military support, mining and construction work in difficult terrain. From the beginning, it stood out because of a design that was very different from ordinary trucks. Its engine was an air-cooled 11.8-liter, 11,762 cubic centimeter V8 diesel. It produced around 180 horsepower and roughly 528 pound-feet of torque, giving it enough low-speed strength to move large loads across harsh ground. The truck used a 5-speed manual transmission combined with a 2-speed auxiliary gearbox. Its 6x6 drivetrain worked with Tatra's famous central backbone tube, which replaced a traditional ladder frame and protected the drivetrain components. Independent suspension with swinging half axles allowed the wheels to follow uneven terrain more effectively. At close to 17,600 pounds empty, the truck could carry approximately 26,500 pounds and reach around 43 miles per hour. Inside the cabin, the driver heard the dry, heavy sound of the air-cooled V8, while the elevated seating position helped with control on trails, mine roads, and construction sites. Its rounded bodywork hid a structure built to survive years of severe use. The Tatra 138 worked as a cargo truck, dump truck, artillery tractor, and platform for specialized equipment. Many examples remained active in forests, mines, and construction long after military service ended. The next machine shows a different path to extreme durability. With Soviet design, 3 axles, simple mechanical systems, and enormous ability in deep mud, it became one of the most recognizable and long-lasting trucks of its generation. ZIL 157. Introduced in 1958 by the ZIL factory in the Soviet Union, the ZIL 157 was built to transport troops, ammunition, fuel, and equipment through regions where roads were almost a luxury. Its long hood, narrow cabin, and 3-axle layout soon became symbols of Soviet military logistics. Its gasoline engine was a 5.6-liter, 5,555 cubic centimeter inline-6. It produced around 104 horsepower and roughly 246 pound-feet of torque, with useful pulling force concentrated at low engine speeds. The truck used a 5-speed manual transmission and a 2-speed transfer case. Its 6x6 drivetrain powered all 3 axles, while solid axles and leaf spring suspension endured mud, snow, sand, and deeply rutted terrain. One of its most important features was a central tire pressure control system. The driver could raise or lower tire pressure without leaving the cabin, improving traction on soft ground and allowing the truck to continue moving after minor tire damage. Weighing a little over 11,000 pounds empty, it could carry around 5,500 pounds off-road and more on firm surfaces. Top speed was close to 40 miles per hour, with slow acceleration, heavy steering, and high fuel consumption. The ZIL 157 served as a cargo truck, communications vehicle, fuel tanker, radar platform, and military equipment carrier. Outside the armed forces, many were used in logging, construction, oil fields, and remote regions where simple mechanics mattered more than comfort. But the leader of this list goes beyond the strength of one design. The next truck crossed wars, appeared in countless versions, and continued working on farms, in repair fleets, on expeditions, and in heavy-duty service across several generations, becoming one of the most recognizable and versatile military trucks ever built. M35 Deuce and a half. At the top of the list is a truck that crossed wars and generations without losing its reputation for being nearly unstoppable. The M35 entered production in 1950 in the United States, initially built by REO, and became one of the most important logistics vehicles used by the United States military. Early versions used a 331 cubic inch, 5.4-liter, 5,425 cubic centimeter inline 6-cylinder gasoline engine. It produced around 127 horsepower and approximately 275 pound-feet of torque. The truck used a 5-speed manual transmission with a 2-speed transfer case. Its 6x6 drivetrain, solid axles, and leaf spring suspension allowed it to cross mud, snow, sand, and damaged roads while fully loaded. Its nickname came from its rated off-road payload of 2.5 tons. On firm roads, it could carry around 5 tons. Weighing close to 13,000 pounds empty, it could reach roughly 55 miles per hour. The cabin was tall, simple, and noisy, with heavy steering and fully mechanical controls. The engine sound, transmission whine, and broad cargo body made it clear that comfort was never a priority. Over the years, the M35 appeared as a cargo truck, mobile workshop, tanker, wrecker, ambulance, and fire truck. Its ability to perform so many different jobs made it a constant presence in military operations, rescue missions, and heavy-duty work. After military retirement, many examples were bought by farmers, emergency crews, construction companies, and off-road enthusiasts. With basic modifications, they continued pulling weight, crossing difficult terrain, and working in places where newer trucks did not always perform as well. That is the heart of its legacy. Very few machines have served for so long, in so many roles, and under such severe conditions. Even beside modern trucks, the M35 still stands out for its simplicity, payload capacity, and willingness to keep working when the terrain begins to separate the durable from the delicate. On this journey, we saw military trucks built to work where almost no ordinary vehicle could go. From the Land Rover Series I to the M35 Deuce and a half, each one proved that simplicity, strength, and durability can survive for generations. These machines did not remain trapped in the past. Many continued working on farms, at construction sites, in forests, during rescues, and across remote regions, proving that a well-built design can remain useful for decades. Now, tell us in the comments, which of these trucks did you already know? Which one surprised you the most with its durability? And which one would you most like to see working up close? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That helps YouTube recognize that this content matters, supports the growth of the channel, and helps these videos reach more people who love heavy machinery. See you in the next video.